KNAC.com, the loudest.com on the planet. Thanks for joining us again. I have the pleasure of speaking to Don Dokken, the voice of Dokken. How you doing, my friend?
Good, Francesco. How you doing?
I'm great.
Things
I'm
are
great.
good.
I'm especially honored to be talking to you. Such a legendary name in rock, classic rock. And today we're here to talk about the lost years. This is like a
Yeah.
collection of some old music by you, right?
Yes, like really old. Like when I was in my 20s, before I even had a record deal, when I was just sneaking into studios to get some free recording time and making demos and starting to write for the Breaking the Chains album. But there are just songs that they just got lost, and I just found them, the tapes, it's been about 5 months.
Wow.
I was cleaning out my storage shed in my garage. Stuff had been in there for 35 years, and I finally said, why do I keep all this stuff? I never go in there. So I got a truck, and I started throwing furniture away and beds and stuff I don't use anymore, and got down almost to the very, very back, and there was this big box, and I opened it up, and it was a bunch of tapes in there, reel to reels, and some were marked, and some weren't marked, and
Oh.
some said Germany, 1979. And I said, what the hell? So I put them on my machine, and there's all these songs and other songs that you can find on the internet or bootlegs, but they sounded horrible.
Mhm.
Copies of copies of copies. So I just took all this song, tried to clean them up, remix them, make them sound better. Some weren't finished. Some had solos missing. Some had only a drum machine. So I wanted to put real drums on it, and, real drummer. And
Mhm.
so the project took a long time, but it was a trip down memory lane for me.
I'm sure the nostalgia hit you and you were like taken aback, flashbacks to growing up, and you had the hunger in
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I was fighting to just play clubs once in a while, and brought back a lot of memories. And I couldn't. And then I had forgotten about those songs, but then as soon as I heard them, I was like, oh, I remember that song. Oh, I remember that song. I just never made it to a record.
And I had a chance to listen to the album, and the raw sound of it, just your
Yeah,
voice and the music, the way was recorded. That's something you can't capture nowadays. Yeah. I mean, production nowadays is like it's phenomenal, but
digital. It's digital, but there is something to be said about analog tape and the old, the old way we used to record on a console and punch in and tape running, and like you say, it was raw. Plus, I was really young. I hadn't spent a lot of time in the studio. I really didn't know what I was doing. Thank God I had Michael Wagner to do a lot of the songs and
great.
record them, so they sounded good. And it was hard to get it on tape because when tapes sit for that long,
Mhm.
for decades, you can't just put them on a machine and play them because they get sticky, and you have
Right.
to actually bake them in an oven, convection oven for 2 hours, and you bake them, and then you put it on the machine. And usually you can only play it like one time or maybe twice, and then the tape just falls apart.
Oh wow.
So yeah. A lot of people don't know that when
No.
tapes get that old, they just fall apart. They get a couple of these tapes had mold on them, and
Oh
they were
man.
sticky. And so I had my fingers crossed that we could get one pass out of them.
Were you able to salvage a lot of what you found?
Yeah, most of it.
Oh, good.
A couple. There was a couple songs that just at the end of the reel, just they were finished over with. They wouldn't play.
Oh man.
They made a wobbly sound, like a wobble.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that was the end of that. And a couple songs I found by accident. I actually hunted people down, old friends of mine. They said, "Oh, I've got a copy of that demo. It's in my
Oh.
garage somewhere on my tape." I said, "You're kidding me, right?" "Yeah, I think I have a copy of that. You gave it to me 1980. And I went, well, can I get a copy of that? Because mine's shot. So, that's how I did it. I called Juan Cruzier, who was the original bass player in Dokken, who did my first tour in Germany with me. And he had a copy of the song Hit and Run on there.
Mhm.
And he had a good copy of it. So he got me a copy. There's a lot of digging around and looking for everything.
No, of course, and
Good timing. COVID, we're not touring.
uh,
Well, actually, I do have a show tomorrow.
oh, really?
And we have two shows this week: Virginia and Arkansas, two outdoor festivals. It's an experiment. They're doing social distancing in
Okay.
a huge outdoor venue, and we'll see how it goes. Just got to be
Yeah,
careful. I'm
and
more
they'll
worried about all the flying. The show, I don't worry about people. I have my mask, but
right.
I'm more worried about the 6 flights we have to take in 4 days.
Oh my God. Yeah, the flights, that would definitely. So these festivals that you're doing, it's with an actual live audience in attendance?
Yeah, live audience.
Wow. I
Yeah,
I I really wish I could be there, but hopefully, is it going to be like video released with this at all or anything?
I have no idea. I mean, I was surprised they offered us the shows. I
Hmm.
mean, we had 27 shows booked for this summer. Like all the
Oh,
bands, we were going to be on tour all
right,
summer.
right, right.
And then Corona hit and everything got canceled and nobody's touring. And I said to the boys, well, we'll start making a new record. So we were working on my new record, and I was about halfway done when Corona hit.
Hmm.
And we had to stop because, my bass player, Chris, and BJ, the drummer, they live in Connecticut.
Hmm.
And I'm in New Mexico most of the time now.
Hmm.
John's in LA. So we couldn't get together for all the, lockdown and everything.
Yeah.
So when I found these tapes, I figured I'd take the time off the road to clean my garage. And by luck, I found those tapes. And then, so that's kept me busy the last 4 or 5 months. Plus, I had the surgery on my back that didn't go well. And that was like 7 months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Are you
Yeah, that's,
gonna go back for like another treatment, or can
no, I
you?
can't. It is
Mm,
what it is. My right arm is paralyzed and it's been 7 months. So
oh,
they said it could come back. My hand might start to work again.
right.
But as of now, maybe no more guitar playing for me. So
Oh,
that's
it's
just the
unfortunate.
way life. That's the way life rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
KNAC. That was my station. KNAC was so supportive of Dokken back in the '80s. I mean, that was the only station we listened to. We didn't listen to the other stations because KNAC was a rock station, and you had KMET, and you had KLOS, and now you only got KLOS live on the air, and they just
mhm.
play, and all they play is Freebird every 30 minutes. So,
Yeah, and believe me, like growing up, KNAC was, always on my radio station. You had to like, you were really on that dial, really trying to dial it in because it was all fuzzy coming out of Long Beach. But I mean,
105.5.
105.5 KNAC for those that don't know.
Right. Well, I remember it's at the end of the dial.
Right, right. And
I,
and
I spent a lot of time going to the station and partying with the DJ late at night. They'd have like a midnight, they'd play like, a whole half an album. Nobody does that anymore. KNAC used to play like an entire side of your record, like 4 or 5 Dokken songs back to back, which was really a lot of fun. And, we'd take a bottle of Jack Daniels and we'd talk and shoot the shit. Ton Mastery, she's passed away now. She was
rest
like
in peace. Yeah, right.
rest in peace. And she was
Hmm.
the head DJ kind of there. Fun memories.
Oh, I'm sure. And
But
and
but you guys are still going. You guys are still going. That's what's great. I
yeah,
listen to it on my.
yeah. I mean, I'm really honored to add my name to the legacy that KNAC is, and
I will
like,
do that in Francesco, and yeah, I listen to. I hear you, and that's the only station I really listen to. Because there's Hair Nation. And I appreciate it. They play a lot of Dokken, but
mhm.
I'm just kind of fond of KNAC because they're one of the first stations that ever played Dokken.
Right. Yeah, it was one of the first bands that I remember hearing up growing up as a kid, thanks to my brother
Right.
who really got me into a lot of this music. And Dawkins was definitely, well, before there was playlists, we just, had tapes and CDs or some
Right.
vinyl as well. So he was always cranking that and, breaking the chains and, I can go
Tooth
on.
and Nail and all that.
Truth in
Yeah.
there. And again, we're here with Don Dokken. We're talking about the lost songs. We got about 11 songs coming out soon, in August, right? And this is a
Yeah,
step,
I think any day now. Yeah.
and this is a step back into the vaults before you guys actually broke out and were signed from. It says from 1978. That's the year I was born. uh,
Wow.
from 1978 to 1981. And what was some of your favorite songs when you went back and listened to all these stuff? Which one was the standout song? You were like, oh man, I remember, because you even had some like
Oh,
live songs on this too.
yeah, there's two live songs that we actually recorded in Hamburg, Germany in 1979 when I first met Michael Wagner, the famous producer. And he was living in Hamburg. And he ran some cables into the club and recorded us live. And there's two live songs on there. So it's interesting to hear myself playing live in '79. We were only a three-piece. I was the
Oh,
lead guitar player, lead singer. Juan Crusade was on bass and sang, and Greg Peckin was the drummer. We were a three-piece back then.
wow. Which was pretty probably unique back in the day. There probably wasn't many three-piece bands, unless talking about
No,
maybe Rush or something. But oh,
yeah, and, no, most of the bands had a rhythm guitar player, you know, or had a lead singer. But I was doing the singing and the playing.
that's great. And yeah, you mentioned like you were from Los Angeles, and I can only imagine what the scene was like back in the day. And you're about to break out into the scene and like nonstop parties. I don't know if you were like heavily on the Sunset Strip. You're out there
Yeah,
playing
when we
shows.
started,
Hmm.
yeah, we were playing like God in '78. I still have some old flyers of us playing with Van Halen, at the Whiskey,
Wow.
and right before they got their record deal.
Hmm.
And so we played with Van Halen, Quiet Riot, and a lot of bands. I went and saw bands like Judas Priest and Saxon, and they weren't that known in America. I went and saw them play at the Whiskey because they were known in Europe but not in America.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons everybody says, why'd you go to Germany? And I said, well, everybody talks about the parties and the rock scene, but that really didn't start till about 1981.
Hmm.
And, Van Halen got their record deal in like 77 or 8. And they came out and they broke out huge. But then the new wave scene was really hitting hard. Blondie and Depeche Mode and, bands like that. The new wave scene hit LA hard.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden they weren't booking rock bands.
Oh
It
man.
was all like new wave. And, I didn't want to wear a and I liked what I liked.
Hmm.
I was listening to Judas Priest and Deep Purple, and I was listening to Saxon and a lot of European bands, Black and King Diamond. I
Hmm.
was more into the European thing, so I figured, well, why don't we go to Europe? Maybe we'll get a response there. So we had a chance to go to a short little 8-club run in Germany, and we did, and that got the whole ball rolling.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. Like you're coming from Los Angeles, and then you're out in Germany, and I guess the combination of those two things are help what built your legacy. And I mean, that's I don't think
It
any other
is,
band can really say like, oh, we made it big in LA. Well, I mean, but yeah, did you make it big in other parts of the world? And here you are making it big in Germany. You're like
yeah, that was really,
right right on the cusp, I guess, of like the new wave, the
yep,
new wave of British heavy metal, and when all those bands are
yep,
coming out. Yeah.
yep. We were right on the cusp, and we went there, and Germany was really embraced us, and
Hmm.
we got a record deal in Germany. Our first record deal was a German label, and and that's when I went and recorded it in Cologne and back in the Chains in Germany. We recorded there, and that was a lot of fun because it was a very big studio, and at the same time we were recording, the Scorpions were in one room recording. The
Oh
band
man.
Accept was in another room recording.
Oh
So it was
wow.
Accept, Scorpions, and us all hanging out together in the studio. You know, we'd take breaks and have lunch and had a cafeteria in the studio. We're all playing video games. And, you know, that's how I met the Scorpions and how we became such good friends
Right.
over the years. We played tons of shows with them. And so we were all they're making Blackout, their first huge breakout American album. I was making Breaking the Chains. I think Accept was doing Balls to the Wall. So it was an interesting time. I wish I could find all my old pictures I took, you know, when I was in the studio there for a month with all those guys.
Mm.
And,
Yep.
but I can't find them.
Hopefully they're out there somewhere. If somebody's listening to this, from either the Scorpions or Accept, hopefully somewhere out there those pictures are still lying around, or a fresh roll of film that's has yet to be developed.
Well, actually, you can go on YouTube, and we do have one video out already from the Lost Tapes. And the song is called Step Into the
Step into
Light.
the light. Yeah.
And the video is just a collage of all pictures of me from 78 to 1980. Just no pictures after George and Jeff and Mick joined the band. These are all a video of pictures of me backstage in Germany, of me sitting backstage at the Whiskey, live pictures of me on stage. You know, I found enough of those photos from my friends that were taking pictures of us, and we made a video. It's on YouTube. Just type in Dokken, Step
Right.
Into the Light. It's a new video.
I checked it out, and I mean it's so exciting to see that. Again, it goes back to that raw vibe, and it's not just the audio, but visually, when you see how young you were, you could like see it in
Yeah,
your
baby
eyes.
face.
You guys were hungry. You guys really wanted it, and yeah, you guys went after
We
it. And
wanted it. Well, I had nowhere to go. It was either that or keep, washing dishes.
hey, you know what? Nowadays, if some you could get a job washing dishes, I mean, I guess that's that's good. It's really tough
Gotta
right now
start
for
somewhere.
yeah.
I worked a lot of jobs when I was young. Somebody asked me what I did before I made music, and I said, well, I'd play clubs at night, usually late, go 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And in the daytime, I was working, like as a cook. I worked in an auto body shop. I did everything, and that's what we did.
Right.
So, and I played the clubs at night for $50.
Wow. We're, I'll be honest. If you're a band nowadays and you could get $50 out of a club, you must have did something right. Because you're lucky if you even get a bar tab. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't even
Yeah.
believe it. I can't believe these bands actually pay to play. And I'm
Thank you.
like, that's horrible.
Yes. Feel free to say it again. Say it louder.
It's horrible. No band should pay to share their music and share their energy and their soul and their spirit with an audience and have to pay to do it. I mean, it's outrageous. So
Mm. Thank
sad.
you. Yeah, it definitely is sad. Believe me, I'm out there. I'm a musician myself, and
Yeah.
I haven't done that in a long time. I did it maybe once or twice when I was starting out, but I learned quickly that's not the way to go. There's better ways to bring your music to the people, and there's better people to bring it to. You know,
Right. We
you
only did
just
it once in our career. We had to pay to play for a month. We went on tour in Europe in '86, I think, and we did it was a stadium tour with AC/DC,
mm,
but we had to pay them to be on the tour,
oh.
the record company, but I said, hey, we're going to be playing stadiums with AC/DC. Hell yeah, we'll pay, so we could get our music out to more fans.
Right. Yeah, that'll definitely get you. Very
That
good. Very
helped us
good.
a lot in Europe. Helped us a lot.
Very good. Well, we're almost out of time here. I know you're on a tight schedule, but I did want to touch on a couple of things. How's your health? I know you mentioned your back surgery, but otherwise, how's your health with this
Good, my
this?
health's good. It's really unfortunate that I had this surgery on my spine, and it's unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened.
Hmm.
My arm being paralyzed when I woke up, and I said, "What the hell?" And give it a couple months. Your fingers will come back, your hand will move again, and your arm will move. But it's been 7 months, and so
Mm-hmm.
far, not so good. So I'm
Hmm.
just keeping my fingers crossed, and that all
Definitely.
the surgeons say it might take a year
Yeah.
or never. So I just have to accept it.
Yeah. Well, we're all keeping our fingers crossed for you as well, Don. I
Thanks.
also wanted to mention I happened to be at the event, the Metal Hall of Fame. Congratulations on your induction.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that. I only been out of the hospital 4 days. I was a little
Oh,
loopy when I went up there.
oh wow.
I wasn't going to do it, and I said, "Well, I guess." And they said, "Can you play a song?" And I said, "I don't know. I'll try." So I kind of got through it, but it was a
Yeah,
nice honor. So
yeah. And I was
to be
glad
inducted.
I was glad to see your induction as well as a room full of great talent, and just the vibe of the whole event was amazing, and I'm glad I'm able to catch up and talk to you nowadays with your this new old album. Again, The Lost Songs,
Yeah.
1978, 1981, a new release. Did you hear that? A new release by Dokken. How awesome is that?
Yep. It's coming out soon.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure KNEC is already throwing up some tracks, and like I said, we're gonna keep on supporting Dokken because Dokken has supported KNEC, and we on behalf of KNEC, we appreciate you, Don, in the fullest.
Thanks. I appreciate you guys for keeping the torch lit.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to keep it going, man. Like you said, there's no real radio in LA, and you know we got to do what we can to seek out what we love. So,
Yes. It's
so
important.
any final words, like this unique situation, this whole pandemic, lockdown? Do you have any words for your fans, the people out there?
All I can say is what everybody knows is the world is a scary place right now. We got an election coming up in 4 months. People are the COVID viruses are spiking. People are dying all over the world. Some places worse. In Brazil, there's over 1 million cases. I mean, it's terrible. But I put a lot of blame on our government for not keeping it more under control. In Japan, they have like 5 or 10 deaths a month, and we're having 10,000 cases
Mm,
a day. So
mm,
it's because people are not wearing masks. People are not going by the rules. You see pictures in Japan. Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody,
right,
and the COVID there is almost nothing.
mhm,
And they say if everybody wore a mask, we could get this under control within a couple of months. But for some reason, people, I guess most of the younger people think they're invincible, and they're not.
mhm,
Like I was talking the other day when I talked to Mickey D from Scorpions a couple of weeks ago,
right.
he caught it,
Oh,
and he
mm,
said he was sick as a dog a couple of
mhm,
months ago. He beat it, but him and his wife both got it, and he said it's really awful. You don't want to get it.
yeah.
So I just wish people would pay more attention. This isn't the flu, but the
Mhm,
world's changed. I mean, with the
yeah.
riots, the marches, the protests, the COVID, it's a crazy time. It's given me a lot of uh, things to write about on the new record.
Great. And any kind of timeline? I know it's hard to say, but any kind of timeline as to when that new record will come out?
Probably next spring, 2021.
Okay.
I mean, our whole tour is canceled this summer. We've shifted everything back to like starting in January or February,
Hmm.
and the record will probably be out in January, February. I
Okay.
wanted it out for Christmas, but the world changed, so
Right.
nothing I can do about it. I'm just hiding out the house.
Yeah. Please, yeah. Please take care of your health. It's the most important thing right now, and Thank you. On behalf of the fans, we thank you for this gift of some new old music. I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah, I hope you
cranking
like it.
loud.
It's a nice trip down memory lane.
I'm sure it was probably about a tear or two to your eye when you were hearing these things.
Yep. And you see the video on YouTube.
Hmm.
Step into the light. That's the first song they're playing on the YouTube.
Totally.
Some interesting pictures on that video of me when I was very, very young, playing at the whiskey and stuff.
Young and hungry, man. That's the way to go about it, you know? Again, this is Francisco with knac.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetalXCandy. Yeah, it's been great talking to you. Again, an honor. Congratulations on the Metal Hall of Fame. Congratulations on the new record. And be well, my friend. You take care.
I will. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.